Have you ever wondered if owning a home in the United States is becoming a luxury only a few can afford? This question has become increasingly relevant as the housing affordability crisis looms. The American dream of home ownership is overshadowed by a daunting debt-to-income ratio, with many households spending more than half their income on housing. This alarming trend is not helped by the widening gap between the median home price and the average income. In just the past decade, we've seen median home prices skyrocket while average incomes have remained relatively stagnant. This disparity is pushing home ownership out of reach for many, especially the young and those on lower incomes. The result, a surge in foreclosures and a drop in home demand. As we delve further into this crisis, we'll see that the repercussions extend far beyond just those looking to buy a home. The American dream of owning a home is slowly slipping away for many. The housing market is a crucial indicator of the country's economic health, and right now it's showing signs of distress. In recent years, we've seen a significant drop in the demand for homes. This can be attributed to several factors, chief among them being the rising costs of home ownership. With a staggering increase in prices, it has become increasingly difficult for the average American to afford a home. This is not just conjecture, it's a fact backed by data. According to reports, home sales have been on a downward trajectory, reflecting the dwindling demand. Now let's look at the other side of the coin, foreclosures. Foreclosures occur when homeowners default on their mortgage payments and the lender repossesses the property. Unfortunately, the number of foreclosures has been on the rise. This surge in foreclosures is not a standalone issue, it's a symptom of a larger problem: the growing debt-to-income ratio among American homeowners. Simply put, more and more homeowners are finding it difficult to keep up with their mortgage payments. This is evident in the increasing number of mortgage defaults, which have reached levels not seen since the financial crisis of 2008. But why should we be concerned about falling home demand and rising foreclosures? Well, a healthy housing market is essential for the overall well-being of the economy. It stimulates economic activity, creates jobs, and generates tax revenue. However, when the housing market is in distress, it can have severe economic repercussions. The effects aren't limited to the real estate sector. They ripple across the entire economy, affecting everything from retail and manufacturing to banking and financial services. In the worst-case scenario, it can trigger a chain reaction that leads to a full-blown financial crisis. So, what's the takeaway here? The falling demand for homes and the surge in foreclosures are alarming trends. They're not just statistics on a page, they're real-world indicators of an economy under strain, and if left unchecked, they could be a harbinger of a looming financial crisis, potentially worse than the one in 2008. For many Americans, the dream of homeownership is becoming increasingly unattainable. An unfortunate reality, but a reality nonetheless. The cost of owning a home is on a steady upward trajectory. This isn't just about the initial price tag on a house, it's the ongoing costs that come after you've turned the key in the front door for the first time. Mortgage payments are the first hurdle. It's not just the principal amount that homeowners are wrestling with, but also the interest rates that come with it. In the past 2 decades, mortgage rates have seen a rollercoaster ride, with some periods of relief, but more often than not, they're on the rise. Then there's insurance, homeowners insurance to be exact. This isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. It's your safety net in case of damage or disaster, but it comes at a price. The National Association of Insurance Commissioners reported that the average annual homeowners insurance premium has increased by more than 20% over the past 10 years. And let's not forget property taxes. They're a major source of revenue for local governments, funding everything from schools to roads. But for homeowners, they're another financial burden. According to the Tax Policy Center, the average American household spent over $2,000 on property taxes in 2023. These rising costs are outpacing wage growth, creating a widening gap between income and expenses. The Bureau of Labor Statistics reports that while the median weekly earnings for full-time wage and salary workers rose by just 4% in 2023, the cost of homeownership rose by nearly 8%. The result? Homeownership is slipping out of reach for many. More and more people are finding it difficult to keep up with the payments, leading to an increase in foreclosures and a decrease in demand for homes. The reality is, most Americans are finding it harder to buy or keep their homes. A hard pill to swallow, but one that we must if we are to understand the full gravity of this looming economic crisis. The repercussions of this housing affordability crisis extend far beyond individual homeowners. Let's delve deeper into the broader implications for the US economy. First, consider consumer spending, the lifeblood of any thriving economy. As more Americans struggle to make ends meet due to rising home ownership costs, discretionary spending is likely to take a hit. This means less money spent on everything from dining out to buying new cars, which in turn could lead to a slowdown in various sectors of the economy. Then there's the issue of personal debt. As home ownership becomes increasingly unaffordable, more people may turn to loans and credit cards to bridge the gap. This could lead to an escalation in personal debt levels, which, if unchecked, could trigger a debt crisis, similar to the subprime mortgage debacle of the late 2000s. Now let's consider the potential job losses. The real estate and construction industries are major contributors to the US economy, providing millions of jobs. As the demand for homes drops, these industries could face significant layoffs, further exacerbating the economic downturn. Moreover, the surge in foreclosures could lead to a glut of properties on the market, driving down home prices and leading to a loss in wealth for existing homeowners. This could further dampen consumer confidence and spending. The banking sector is another area of concern. As foreclosures rise, banks could suffer significant losses on their mortgage portfolios. If these losses are large enough, they could even threaten the stability of the financial system, potentially leading to a crisis worse than the 2008 financial crash. In short, the housing affordability crisis is a ticking time bomb that could have devastating ripple effects on the US economy. Decreased consumer spending, increased debt, potential job losses, and a destabilized banking sector could all contribute to a broader economic downturn. As the housing affordability crisis deepens, it's not just homeowners who stand to lose. The entire US economy could be in peril. In summary, the American housing market is headed towards a precipice. We've traversed the terrain of this complex issue, from the rising debt-to-income ratio of homeowners to the falling demand for homes. We've seen how these factors are not isolated, but are intertwined in a precarious dance that threatens to destabilize the bedrock of the American dream, homeownership. The surge in foreclosures is not merely a symptom, but a harbinger of a deeper malaise infecting the economy. The cost of homeownership is spiraling upwards, locking many out of the market and pushing others precariously close to the edge. The ripple effects are already reverberating through the economy, casting long shadows over the future. The specter of a financial crisis looms, potentially more devastating than the one we witnessed in 2008. Unless significant interventions are made, the US could be heading towards a financial crisis far worse than any we've seen before.